to another video. So I'm mic'd up today. In today's video, I'm gonna be taking you guys through a full individual session for my fullbacks. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, don't forget to leave a like, comment down below what other positions, or if you want to see a part 2 of this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. All right guys, so the first thing that we're going to be doing is the warm-up. You could do so many different variations as long as you warm up the body. I like to start off with a 5 to 10 minute jog. I like to take the ball with me. So this is a great time to kind of mentally prepare for the session and get your body warmed up. The best players in the world have some of the longest, not longest warm-ups, but they're very specific in terms of preparing them for the game. So make sure you get a good warm-up in. All right guys, so now that we finished that 5 to 10 minute jog, we're gonna go into some dynamic stretching and some mobility. So the first mobility slash dynamic stretch that we're gonna be doing is called the world's greatest. So I'm gonna show you how it looks from a front view, and then I'm gonna go from the side to kind of give you a better idea. So you're gonna go into a forward lunge, just like this. Make sure the back leg doesn't touch the ground. If this is too hard, you can definitely put the back leg on the ground. But if you're more of an advanced player, have that leg up. You're gonna put the right hand down on the ground. Left foot is out here. You're gonna bring this left hand and you're gonna slowly raise it, and you're gonna follow your hand with your eyes. You're gonna bring it as far as you can, and then you're gonna come back around, come inside like this, pause, and then open back up, nice and slow, controlled. Follow the hand, and then come back. You're gonna do this anywhere from 10 to 15 times. You wanna go nice and controlled. And this is not as easy as it looks, but it's definitely a great mobility and dynamic stretch to really open up the hips. The hip flexors get extremely tight, you'll feel it here, and the upper body. A lot of people neglect the upper body, but it's just as important as the lower body. So after we do world's greatest, we're gonna move into the 90-90s. These are by far one of my favorite. I have a whole mobility program that you guys can check out if you guys are interested. It has all these different mobility and dynamic stretches that you can do. The reason why it's called 90-90s is because you have a 90-degree angle here, 90-degree angle there. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna just try to switch back and forth, just like this. And you're gonna do that 10 times on each side, so a total of 20. And you can use your hands to assist yourself, but essentially the goal is to be able to do it without any hands, any assistance. But as you can tell, my hips are so tight that I'm struggling. So if you need to, use your hands to kind of help you stay up straight. But yeah, if you're struggling with this, you can definitely use your hands. This is a great way to really open up those hips and get them nice and loose before the session. And another variation is that you're gonna go here, boom, and then you're gonna go up like that. You're gonna squeeze your glutes, come back down, switch sides, come back up, use those glutes, squeeze the glutes, come back down, switch sides, back up, squeeze the glutes, just like that. So yeah guys, so those are just 2 easy mobility exercises that you can do. There's several other ones, so you can do like scoops like this. I recommend going into like a lunge, a nice twist, really good. All right guys, so now that we finished that part of the warm-up, now we're gonna be moving into using the ball. This is another part of my warm-up that I like to do, and we're gonna be juggling. So we're gonna be juggling with our laces, ensuring the ball doesn't have any spin on it, making sure we're locking our ankle. As you guys can tell, the ball has little to no spin. That's because if you strike it with the correct part of your foot, there should be no spin. So you're gonna do this for about 2 minutes. After 2 minutes ends, you're gonna go into 1 foot. So then we're gonna go into our weak foot, which is left. Build a nice rhythm. Try to stay in the same place if you can. Once you do that for 2 minutes, you're gonna switch over to your right. Do that for 2 minutes. Easy. And once you complete that for 2 minutes, we're gonna move into inside the foot. So if you're a beginner and you're not used to this, I recommend just start off with 1 foot, just get used to it. But if you are more comfortable doing this, I recommend just going to 2 minutes with both feet, just like this, inside the foot. And so I would even consider this a great mobility exercise, because if your hips are tight, you're gonna be really opening up your hips, just doing this movement. And you can tell if your hips are tight because it's much harder to do inside the foot juggling when your hips are extremely tight. So once you do that for 2 minutes, if you're an advanced player, I recommend you go into some outside the foot juggling, just like this, outside the foot. You'll do that for 2 minutes. And the final thing that we're gonna be doing is 2 minutes of one low, one high, one low, one high, one low, one high, one low, one high, one low, one high. So do that for 2 minutes. You don't have to hit it too high, just slightly above your head. Oh my goodness, I'm getting blind. Look in the sun. But yeah, so you just want to pop it slightly higher than your other touch. Work on controlling, working on that technique of keeping your ankle locked. And this is going to help you develop an amazing touch, I promise you. So that's going to be the juggling portion. Now we're going to move on into more of our position specific drills for my fullbacks. All right guys, now that we finished the warm up, now we're gonna be going into our change of direction and top speed. So the first drill that we're gonna be doing is we're gonna start right here on this line, and we're just gonna work on turning the hips, switching the hips. This is extremely important for defenders, especially when you have somebody who's very technical, who's constantly changing directions. The better you can change directions and twist those hips, the better you'll be able to, catch up, react to those attackers' different movements. The more shifty they are, the harder it is. But if you have the ability to switch and change your hips and be able to react, you have a higher chance of being able to win that ball. So that's why it's so important to work on this. So we're just gonna start off with a warm-up drill right here. You're just gonna go here, check your shoulders, turn those hips, and you're gonna do that for anywhere from 5 to 10 yards, and you're gonna repeat that 3 times. So right here, check your shoulders, twist, 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 just like that. So after we completed anywhere, 3 to 5 reps, and you're feeling nice and ready, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be working on top speed. And we're not gonna be working on just a linear sprint. Most runs are actually curved. As you're gonna see right here, I set up a cone 5 yards apart, and then I set another cone 5 yards and another cone about 10 yards away. So in this drill, it's very simple. All you're gonna do is the exact same thing. You're gonna switch hips, turn, and then right when you get to this cone, you're gonna turn completely. You're gonna do a max sprint all the way to the 18, just like that. And this might be very similar to what you would do in the game, especially when you're tracking back. Let's say a midfielder ends up playing a through ball. You're marking somebody, he plays the ball, he starts making the run, you start following that run, he plays the ball, and you cut off that pass, right? So this is exactly what that's gonna work on, is tracking back. We're adding a couple other technical things that defenders need to be very efficient at. You gotta be good on your feet, and you have to be fast. If you can read the ball, you probably can save yourself without having being fast, but that's a different part of it. This is just only gonna help you and supplement that, that speed, being able to read the ball, because if you're fast, then you'll be able to track a lot more balls, but there's still another, soccer IQ part of it that, is missing, and that just comes with more gains, being able to read the play, knowing when, like if you see the guy drop his head, that's when you should know that, okay, he's about to play the ball, I should start dropping back. And these are small things that, you need to realize that it's more than just this, but this is definitely gonna help you become a little bit faster, and it's gonna help you. It might be able to save your butt a couple times, especially when they start playing it over top and you go against somebody who's extremely fast. And as a fullback, you're gonna be having to go against really, technical players, really fast players, really big players. So these are things that you need to work on a lot. I'm gonna show you a couple of demonstrations, and then we're gonna move into our next drill. So right here, you're gonna quick. So after each sprint, you're gonna walk back, and that should be plenty of rest so that you can go into your next sprint all out. All these sprints need to be 90% or more. That's what's gonna help you get faster. The more you sprint, the faster you're gonna be. There's no other movements in the gym that's gonna replicate a sprint, not that I know of. There's some that are gonna be close to it, but sprinting is probably the best thing to help you get faster. So I recommend, especially if you're in the off season, you know, sprint anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week. But once you go in season, make sure you manage that volume and listen to your body. You don't want to be sprinting when you're tired. You want to be sprinting when you're feeling fresh, and you need to plan ahead as well. Don't be sprinting, you know, when you have practice right after that, you know that you're going to be doing a lot of high intensity sprints or movements, because you're probably going to be doing those sprints in a lot of, you know, game situation stuff. So make sure you plan ahead and you be smart, because that's going to take you a lot farther. It's not about training harder, it's about training smarter. All right guys, so the next drill that we're gonna be doing is very similar. Now we're gonna be doing a little bit of change of direction. So we're gonna be starting at the same place that we did before. We're gonna do a 5-yard shuffle, and then we're gonna work on crossing over just like this. We're gonna accelerate 5 yards here. We're gonna turn and then re-accelerate for another 5 to 10 yards. And the reason why we're doing this is because as a fullback, you have to transition very quickly. There's gonna be times where you make that run and then your team might lose the ball and you have to transition right back to defense. So the quicker you can do that, the better you are gonna be as a fullback, because you're gonna be doing that all game, and it's gonna be very helpful if you can be very efficient at this. So what are you gonna do? Get nice and low. Make sure when you're doing the side shuffle, you do not cross your feet. This is not karaoke. Side shuffle is staying nice and low. You're not too low where you're going slow, but almost like in a quarter squat position right here. So you're gonna go here, go into a cross here, push off, and then re-accelerate. You're gonna relax, and then you're gonna switch sides. So it's very important that you do both sides to ensure that we don't, you know, develop any imbalances. We wanna make sure that we're very efficient off pushing off both legs and being able to redirect ourselves. Even if you play on one side, you're still gonna have to use both feet to change directions. So same thing, you know, take your time, recuperate, and then once you're ready, you're gonna go to the next set, boom, crossover, push off, and then re-accelerate, just like that. What's up guys? So now we're gonna be working on our position specific drill. This drill is gonna require the most time and energy, because this one's gonna be closely related to a real game. So since we're doing it by ourselves, obviously we can't have somebody play the ball out wide to us. If you do have a friend, I would recommend, to make this even more realistic, have him stay in the middle, play the ball out wide, you'll receive it, take it towards the middle, and finish on goal. But since we don't have anybody, I'm gonna be wearing the GoPro as well to kind of show you like a first person POV. But what we're gonna be doing is that you're just gonna be juggling like here, with your back facing the goal. You're gonna pop up the ball in the air, you're gonna bring it down, you're gonna turn, and then you're gonna attack those 2 cones right here. You're gonna cut in and finish on goal. The second time, what you're gonna do is you're gonna come back here, the starting position. You're gonna do the exact same thing. You're gonna juggle a couple times. You're gonna pop it up in the air. You're gonna bring it down, but instead of taking it towards the middle this time, you're gonna drive it down the line like you would in a cross. But since there's no options, what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut back and reset. So you're not gonna cross anybody. You're just gonna drive it down the line and then cut back, and then you're gonna repeat that in between those 2. So this is a drill that, of course, you know, if you had a couple other players, you can make it extremely game realistic, if anything almost identical to what you would do in a game. But since this is an individual, you know, fullback session, we're gonna be trying our best to, you know, continue to implement some things that we want to work on. So first touch, you know, very important. You have to have a good first touch, especially bringing the ball out the air. Of course, it's different when someone drives the ball, but this is still going to be working on that touch. So if you want to challenge yourself, of course, you know, kick the ball higher up and control it. But in this drill, our main emphasis is dribbling towards the middle, cutting in, and finishing on goal. But yeah, guys, if you're a left fullback, you're going to do this exact same drill, just mirrored. And essentially the main focus, like I mentioned before, is first touch, dribbling, cutting in towards the middle, and then also, you know, picking up your head and knowing when to cut back, especially when there's not enough options in the box. There's a lot of times where there might be just one person in the box, and the best thing to do is cut back and reset. So having the ability to, you know, maybe attack the space and then perform a nice turn to kind of get yourself out so that you can reset is very important. So I'm gonna put on the GoPro and show you guys a POV of how this drill is supposed to be done. Here we go. So juggle a couple times, get that touch. You're gonna do, pop it up, check your shoulders, bring it down, dribble, and I finished on goal. Obviously not the best finish, but hey. All right guys, so now that we finished our position specific drill, now we're gonna be moving on into our crossing drill. Since we have no one to cross to, we're gonna have to, cross to the goal. So we're gonna be putting the balls all on the left side so that we can work on curling with our right foot. If you wanna stay on the right side and work on your left foot as well, that's a great idea. I highly recommend it. But in this drill, all we're gonna be doing is, if you're a beginner and you feel like you struggle with making good contact with crosses, I recommend you just roll it out and then just work on curling it just like that. As you get better and you want to get more game realistic, what I recommend you do is you pretend that you're taking the ball down the line and then, work on whipping it in with pace. And this is a great drill because not only is it going to be working on your finishing, but if you can curl it with good placement, essentially you should be able to do the same technique when whipping in across. So this is super beneficial, especially if you're a right fullback and you're just gonna mirror this if you play on the left side to work on that left foot crossing. Super basic, but it's such a great way to work on whipping it in. So if you wanna work on whipping it in near post, you can do that as well. I like to work on hitting it backside, but it's good to switch it up. And you could be on different parts. You can move these cones and start on the right side and work on hitting it across, almost like a far post, so you can position the balls in different areas so you can work on placing it differently. So hopefully this drill is beneficial to you guys. This is one of my favorite drills I like to do because it's almost implementing a little bit of finishing, and I love finishing, but this is such a great way to also work on that crossing. And the part of the foot that you really want to focus on when striking the ball is, I like to whip it in like right here. Use the middle part right here. A lot of people, they'll either use their laces or they'll use too much of their toes. Make sure you're hitting it right here and then get around it. Make sure your foot is planted. You really get that curl technique down. So let me show you a couple more. So roll for beginners and then curl. This is just a good practice, roll. And make sure when you're doing this that you're not too close. You do not want to be on the 18-yard line, because when you're playing it out wide, you're about, anywhere from 30 to 40 yards. I think it's even further, honestly, from out wide. So keep that in mind. Make sure you're not too close. You want to make it seem like you're actually whipping it in. I would even recommend you take it even further here, so you get more accustomed to, whipping it in from a farther distance. If you're a beginner, you can start off closer, of course, but as you get better and better, start stepping back a little bit further so that you can make it a little bit more realistic and more challenging for yourself. Thank you guys for watching today's video. If you did like it, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't. It really helps out the channel, and comment down below whether the positions, whether they're drills, or if you want me to do a part 2 of this, I'm more than happy to do it. Thank you guys for all the support. And at the end of each session, don't forget to do some static stretching, meaning that you're gonna hold each stretch anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds long, and you're gonna do that for multiple sets. So I recommend doing it for like 2 to 3 sets. This is a great time to stretch because your muscles are all warmed up. So when you're lengthening them, it's not gonna feel super tight. This is the best time, and it's gonna speed up recovery, and it's gonna help you prevent injury. So as always, it's a great day to get better. Hope everyone has a wonderful day, and keep up the great work.